let's go ahead and take up House Bill 756, Representative McMakin. Ms. Lowry, will you please read in that bill?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members, Representative McMakin brings a bill to provide for the use and allocation of space within the state capitol complex, makes technical changes, and provides for related matters.
Representative McMakin, on your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, members. Just as simple as Mike Johnson's bill right there. We're just redoing floors of the Capitol. Ask for your favorable passage. Thank you. Talk more? Okay. So the 27 floors of the Capitol are laid out through statute RS 49-150, lays out who has responsibilities for which floor and who can go where. We're updating the law right now. Currently, as it reads, we're not even following the rules as we have them written right now of who gets what floor. So we went through the floors. Get further away. I'm too loud.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah,
Okay.
do that. We're going to work on the volume.
I'm Italian.
And I'm not sure if it's you being Italian or if it's the system, so we're going to try and get somebody to...
For those wondering, my mother's maiden name is Balestrino from Cortemilia. That's where the Italian comes from. Thank you, Mom. So what we're doing, we're updating the law right now, trying to clear up some space. As you know, members of the House, unless you are committee chairman or certain members, you have no space to go to meet with someone or have an opportunity for a private meeting. This would free up some space at the Capitol for the members of the House to have a space. Thank you.
All righty. How are all the people who are currently using this? If you want to maybe go office by office and let us know how those different position holders are, how the discussions have gone with those people who are currently occupying the space.
Okay, so we have the governor's staff. They're on 4, 5, and 6. Then we have several floors that are laid out for the current House members right now where the committees are currently are. One of the ones I found out was interesting, the Poynter Library. Did I say that right? Dang it. Poynter Library has to be on his floor because of structural issues. The books of the library weigh so much that we're going to maintain that floor there. We are combining Secretary of State and the Attorney General's office. As you know, they have their own buildings in Baton Rouge, so we decided to combine them as well. The Treasurer would stay on his floor. He's the only state office holder in the building that does not have his own building outside of the Capital Region. The Commissioner of Agriculture has a room that's also there, allowing them to stay there as well, and then really frees up the other space for the House of Representatives. And it's made by the President of the Senate and the Speaker of the House are the ones that would control where the space goes.
All right, Representative Domingue for a question.
Thank you, Rep McMakin, and I appreciate this bill because we don't have any space for anything. So I do appreciate you working on this and trying to find us some space. But is everybody in agreement with like moving things around? I mean, that's kind of, are you getting any pushback on this?
I'll wait to see if there's any red cards, but I don't want to speak for other state agencies.
And who else are you working on this with? I mean, is there like a building supervisor? I'm just not familiar with the way the building is organized.
So really the Commissioner of Administration is technically, I believe, the one that's over the building. It's a state building, so it's over them. And we also, you'll see, we have a joint rule as well. We have to change as well to update this as well. So the Speaker and the President are kind of, I would say, the managers of it, and the Commissioner of Administration would be the owner of the building.
Wonderful. And can you please amend your bill to say that the members of House and Governmental get to pick offices first?
I'd be amicable for that amendment, yes. For the current 2024-2028 term. We don't want to let others.
That might be the only way this bill gets out, Representative Domingue. We do have a technical amendment that we'd like to make, just if you want to look on page, I'm going to call it technical, on page 10, excuse me, page 2, line 10. We'd like to strike the words "for the State Bond Commission." If you're okay with that.
Yes, absolutely. So members, what we're doing on page 2 of 6, line 10, after treasurer, we're putting a period, then we're deleting the 5 words "for the State Bond Commission." This was something that was brought to us from the treasurer's office as a way to make sure that the floors are allocated properly for them. Like I mentioned, the treasurer's office is the only one that does not have another building in Baton Rouge to use for space.
All right, I'm going to offer up that amendment. Is there any objection to the adoption of that amendment? Seeing no objection, the amendment's adopted. Back on the bill, Representative Weibel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Representative McMakin, like my colleague, I really like the bill, and it would be nice to have some space to be somewhat functional, but I'm concerned, in your plan, did you provide provisions for John Kay to have an office?
He currently does have an office, yes. So he's part of the governor's package of 4, 5, and 6. He's taken care of.
All right, we have a card. We have Mr. John Sinkfield, turned in a blue card on behalf of Attorney General Liz Murrow in opposition and would like to speak. Welcome to House and Government Affairs. Please introduce yourself for the record.
Yes. May it please committee, John Sinkfield, Executive Counsel to Attorney General Liz Murrow, formerly Chief Deputy Attorney General to Governor Jeff Landry. I came here to express opposition to the bill and say, please, please, don't take our space away. We, in the statute, have 4 statutes for the Attorney General's office. Years ago, we voluntarily conceded 2 to create more room for the legislature and legislators. 22 has Liz Murrow's main office on it and a conference room and 2 or 3 other offices up there. That office was designed for the Attorney General. I think many of you have been in it. I recall it because I interviewed there for my first job in the Attorney General's office in March of 1971. So I know it's been there ever since then, although my career took me to other places. But it's still there. And the other offices right now, we're an agency with 510 full-time employees when we're full staff. Now, because of the transfer portal and the knowledge of a certain public official who I recently worked for, we got really we lost a lot of people in the transfer portal. Right the last time I checked, we're back trying to replace around 90 employees, and it's harder to do than it used to be. But when full staff, we use those floors, and particularly since we gave up the 2 voluntarily, which is still in the statute, we've allowed the legislators, caucuses to use those floors. We've allowed the organizations or anything to come in and use those floors. And they were occupied until recently, and we're in the process of putting people back in them again. Yes, we have another building, but they tell me in real estate location is everything. We have a new woman Attorney General for the first time. We have a new woman Secretary of State, and y'all are fixing to squeeze those 2 first-time women that have been elected into a space that's not totally appropriate for the status and what they went through to win these offices. It's going to be a bad look because we have people come in from all over the place. Yeah, we can carry them to the Livingston building, which is one of those gray buildings. It's a nice building. Liz has an office in it. But when we have these people come, sometime in cases involving hundreds of millions of dollars and other issues that we represent the state on, where we're sued in Medicaid fraud, Louisiana Bureau of Investigations, we need an appropriate office in the state capitol. And if you squeeze 2 public officials, first of all, you're going to have to redo half that floor, and there's not room really for it. So we come hat in hand and saying, please consider this. Liz couldn't be here today, or I think she would be, to say this herself. I don't know how much went on, but I know I was in a meeting with her yesterday, and she asked me to come and say, please, 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 don't take our space, don't do this.
Thank you, sir. We do have a question. Representative Newell.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I apologize, sir. Could you please tell me your name one more time?
John Sinkfield. By background, I've worked for 5 attorney generals. I was first assistant DA here in Baton Rouge
Thank
for
you,
a total of
Mr.
28 years.
Thank you, Mr. Sinkfield. But my statement was that I don't believe that Representative McMakin is trying to have the House of Representatives take anything totally away from anyone. And we do respect the fact that we do have our first female attorney general, and that's a win for all women in some instances. But this body of 105, we also are consulted with propositions and questions worth millions of dollars, and sometimes something worth more, and that's people's lives and their rights to certain liberties. We would just like to have a place where we could just put our stuff, and a place where we can say, hey, meet me on the 3rd floor in such and such suite, instead of, oh, let's huddle in this corner over here by the busy elevators. Oh, meet me in the corner of the cafeteria. It's just so that we can have a little bit of a convenience doing this burdensome and heavy loaded job. Yes, we asked for this job, but we're now just asking for some place for us to put our stuff. I don't know if you see most of us in the morning, but we got bags. I don't like being the bag lady all the time, but we don't have place to put our stuff. And when you want to have a meeting with us and the time is tight and I can't get to the off-site office, it'll be convenient for me to say, meet me in my office on the 3rd floor. And that's all Rep McMakin is asking for. It's just a little convenience for those of us who did put our name on the line to stand up and fight for the people of Louisiana, not to give any slight to any woman or any man that is elected as well. We just want a place to meet and put our stuff.
Thank you.
And I would respond to that. It's my
If
understanding.
you could speak into the mic, if you don't mind.
I'm sorry?
Speak into the mic.
Yes, it's my understanding that we've always invited legislators to use that space that we have up there if there's any extra. If it's a problem with space putting the bags, when I leave here, I'll go up there and kick somebody out, create a room, and I'll make sure that we have a bag space.
But you missed
for
the
you.
point. We need a space for all 105 of us, and not just me or the ones that you feel friendly to or the one that might ask. We just want to have our own space. You know, I'm picking on him because next to me, Ralph Farnham is one of the few that have a great inside voice. Some of my colleagues do not, and I don't want to hear their conversation. They need to have some place to go and to do their business and keep that confidentiality between themselves and whoever it is they're speaking to. That's the point. And that is what I believe Rep McMakin is trying to do, and not displace any other people, just making room for us too.
Thank you, Representative Newell. The board is clear, was clear. Representative Marcel, who...
I'm sorry. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was just asking for the author to come back to the table.
No, that's not the appropriate time. Unless we got another speaker, we're going to bring him back up to get some questions. Can we hold that for a second?
Sure, thank you.
All right, perfect. We got another card. We're going to have some. Thank you for joining us. Also, on behalf of another female statewide elected official, Ms. Catherine Newsom here would like to speak in opposition from Secretary of State Nancy Landry's office.
So they white cards.
Goodness.
Ms. Newsom, please introduce yourself.
Yes, good morning. Catherine Newsom, First Assistant Secretary of State, here on behalf of Secretary of State Nancy Landry, who is in another committee at this time. So I'm bringing these remarks on her behalf. Good morning, Chairman and members. I can perhaps be accused of being slightly biased, but I believe that my staff is the hardest working in the state government. My staff spends several hours each week in session here at the Capitol, running back and forth between committees, providing expert testimony on bills, whether they are a part of our package or not, and meeting with members and staff to ensure that our office has what it needs to be successful in fulfilling its duties. This is all happening while we are also overseeing elections, including the spring election. Spring elections would often happen at the same time as the legislative session. It's actually early voting this week, and this is our second early voting session during this regular session. Furthermore, my staff is having to complete this work while our main offices are at least 20 minutes away on Essen Lane and typically longer in Baton Rouge traffic, which you're all familiar with. While several other state agencies are headquartered in this building or in a building in the Capitol area region or downtown, my staff has to conduct their heavy workload during the day, working while in session with our offices over on Essen Lane. While the office space we have here is small for the number of staff that we have at the Capitol, having this space is vital to ensure that we conduct our normal duties during session and all of our responsibilities. Losing this space or forcing us to share this space with another agency would severely hamper our efforts. Members, frankly, we need the space we have now. I cannot ask my staff to conduct their vital, sometimes confidential work by shuttling back and forth between here and Essen Lane. In the space that we have, it is cramped, and in the hallways as well. And just so you all are aware, for informational purposes, just this morning, our agency was scheduled to testify in 4 different committee hearings. Jude A at 9 a.m., Jude C at 10 a.m., HGA at 9:30, and insurance at 9, for a total of 11 bills that we are being asked to testify on. We have 14 staff members present in the building today, and in our current office situation, we have 8 offices. One of those has 4 cubicles in it where the office desk is this big, and our director of IT sits at one of those cubicles when we're here to testify. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you. We do have a couple of questions. Representative Marcel, is this for, okay.
So let me ask you, did you put in a red card or a white card?
I put in a blue card. I'm speaking on behalf of an elected official in opposition of the bill.
She turned in the right card.
Okay, I just want to know, because typically they turn in white cards or blue cards and not red cards, but.
I turned in a blue card, which is on behalf of an elected official. You can be opposed or for a bill.
I just want to know what you turned in. Thank you.
All right, Representative Boyd.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So you are talking about the cramped space. We have no space. We're elected officials in our 3rd session. I myself ran almost 23 bills this session, 6 week before last, 5 last week in committee, which means I need a place to prepare for those as well. So it's not taking any, we need space ourselves for the same reason. Confidentiality, preparing for bills. In addition to the 23 bills I have, I also have to prepare for the bills in my sessions. So it would be nice, because I'm from New Orleans, to have a space where I can go in and get prepped for my day. Thank you.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. And I was just trying to distinguish on behalf of the Secretary of State that our particular situation is different because we do not have an office anywhere in the downtown area.
All right.
I understand.
All right. We also have provide information with the Secretary of State's office, Ms. Sherry Hadsky, if needed. The board's clear. We'll have the author back up. Representative Marcel, do you have a question for the author?
Representative McMakin, this bill that you filed is based upon your experience, and you're a first-termer, and what you have seen around the Capitol and what you believe the needs are of the 105 members of this body.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that accurate?
Yes, ma'am.
And it is no intent of yours by this bill to harm any other agency, is it?
No, ma'am.
Currently, do we have a space other than the members' lounge? And if we go to that door and knock on it and somebody's in it, you got to stand outside and wait, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You know of any other space that's dedicated to us that we can meet in on a regular basis to have conversations with our constituency, with people, whether they're advocates or whatever they're for or against our bills. Do you know of a space where we can do that?
No, ma'am.
You don't? Okay. I like your bill. If no one has moved favorably, I will.
All right, Representative Thomas has an amendment she'd like to offer. Representative Thomas?
Yes, I would like to ask that at least one floor be dedicated to the Secretary of State and one floor be dedicated to the Attorney General. Right now, I believe I heard that they each have 2 floors.
No, ma'am, I don't think they both have 2 floors right now. You have the Attorney General has 2 currently, Secretary of State has 1.
Okay.
That's my understanding.
I'd still like to offer an amendment for each of them to have at least 1.
Ms. Lowry?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So members, that would be on page 2, beginning on line 7. You would insert before 1 the words "at least." On line 8, after Secretary of State, you would insert a period. You would delete the "and." You would insert "at least one floor of the state capitol shall be designated for use by the Attorney General."
Thank you, Ms. Lowry. Representative Thomas has made a motion to add made an amendment. Any opposition to this amendment? Seeing no objection, amendments carries. Back on the bill, Representative Gadberry. I'm having difficulties with the screen here. Bear with me.
Same difficulties. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Representative McMakin, it's not your intent to have 105 rooms.
No, sir, that would be impossible.
Right, okay. I just want to make sure that. There are some rooms, I know the Attorney General's office has a big conference room that we've often met in, 4, 5, 6 of us, 10 of us. And there are a few rooms scattered around in the building that we could use as meeting spaces. You just got to find them and probably reserve them. But anyway, just making sure we're not trying to find 105 rooms.
No, sir.
Because that would be impossible. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Gadberry. The system seems to possibly be working right now. All right, so board's clear. Representative Marcel has made a motion that we report House Bill 756 favorably as amended. Is any objection? I'm going to object to the bill. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Mr. Chairman, can I close on the bill?
Yep, go ahead and close. Go ahead, close on the bill.
I just wanted to follow up on some comments, members of the committee. First, that Mr. John talked about standing over to the side. I was absolutely offended that he would suggest that I was doing anything to our first female Secretary of State and our first female Attorney General. As you know, I was not here previously. I'm a first-time member. Race, creed, color, sexuality did not play any role in this. I just wanted to be known on the record that I'm offended that he would suggest that as part of my bill. Secondly, from Ms. Catherine Newsom, she mentioned that it's 20 minutes away to get to their building on Essen Lane. I just happened to go to Google before I got here. It's 7.9 miles. You can go I-10 in 12 minutes, Government Street in 17, or I-10 Corporate in 17 minutes. She mentioned that they have to oversee the elections, and it's vital, and it will severely hamper their ability to run our elections. If you need a space in this building to run our elections, I'm very concerned about that. Representative Boyd, thank you for your comments. Cramped space versus no space is what we're trying to do here. We have no space in the Capitol, and that's what we're trying to do. Finally, on Mr. Johns, sorry, back to his comments. The Livingston building was completed in 2003. It's 7 floors, 150,000 square feet they have across the lake, and we have nothing. I ask for your favorable passage. Thank you.
Representative Marcel has made a motion that we report House Bill 756 favorably as amended. I have objected. Madam Secretary, please call the roll. We're having difficulties again. All right, let's try that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman Boye?
No.
No. Representative Bayham? Representative Billings? No. No. Representative Boyd? Yes. Yes. Representative Carter? Yes. Yes. Representative Domain?
Yes.
Yes. Representative Farnham?
Yes.
Yes. Representative Gadberry? No. No. Representative Larverdane? Yes. Vice Chair Lyons? Representative Marcel?
Yes.
Yes. Representative Newell?
Yes.
Yes. Representative Shammerhorn?
No.
No. Representative Thomas?
Yes.
Yes. Representative Wright? Representative Weibel?
Yes.
Yes. There are 9 yeas and 4 nays.
House Bill 756 will be reported favorably as amended. Thank you, Representative McMakin.